Hello everybody, Super Tim 101 here with another build review. This series is where I go over my favorite mechs and my favorite builds, whether they are considered meta or not. And today we're going to go over the Thunderbolt, specifically the Thunderbolt 9S. Now in the lore, the Thunderbolt is one of the oldest mechs. It is a workhorse mech for basically all the houses of the Inner Sphere during the Succession Wars. It typically runs an eclectic array of weapons, from LRMs to machine guns, and all sort of energy weapons in between. And for that reason, it is widely used. And because it's so old, it has just a bunch of variants to fill all sorts of different combat roles. And the 9S in Mechwarrior Online is, I would say, unique insofar as it has these two AMS hardpoints, which again, I've said this in a couple of the videos. You don't have so many mechs that can boat AMS. So having two and still being able to run an effective array of weapons is fairly rare. So that's why I like this mech. The other thing I like about it is that it can run a fairly large missile weapon here in the left shoulder. So with that all said, let's jump into the build. You'll notice I'm running a pretty high engine. Its engine cap is 315, so I've got a 310. Gives it pretty good speed from the gate here. Why don't we look at the quirks for it real quick, just to see what we got. The PPC family HSL +1. So if you want to run 3 ER PPCs in it, and that's it, you could totally do that. If you wanted to run 4 light PPCs, something like that, you could do that. You run 3 heavy PPCs, you could do that. It is a good PPC mech because it has some high mounts here in the torsos, and also maybe one here to shoot down UAVs, things like that. But we're not using the PPCs, but if you could, if you wanted to. Also, energy cooldown, which helps all the energy heat -10%, energy range +5%, missile cooldown -10%, which is pretty nice, laser duration -5%, and some more ER PPC quirks. So it really could be used quite effectively as an ER PPC mech, but I really wanted to use this missile hardpoint right here. It actually has 2 missile hardpoints if you wanted to use them, but there's so many hardpoints in this left torso that you can't fit everything in. So I used a fairly large MRM launcher, the MRM30 here, and then 6 medium lasers. That's a significant amount of firepower for a heavy mech. So, I mean, I guess it's sort of standard for a heavy mech, but nevertheless, it's still a significant amount of firepower. Then, of course, the 2 AMS with 2 tons of ammo, 1 for each AMS. And then 2 tons of ammo for the MRMs. This is basically just barely squeaking by. You might run out of ammo from time to time, but it's kind of like you might, want an extra half ton, but an extra ton is too much. So the 2 tons is definitely doable. You also run 4 external heat sinks here, double heat sinks, as well as 2 more in the engine to give you a total of 16 heat sinks. So the heat isn't too bad. It's 1.45, which isn't too bad. You can fire. It is spicy. It is a spicy mech. The lasers and the MRMs can add up quite a bit, but it can still dish out quite a bit of damage, and even with the heat. Another thing I wanted to show you is it's got actually pretty good structure quirks as well. 15 in all in the torsos and the legs, and it can tank quite a bit of damage. You see that the armor isn't necessarily amazing for a heavy. There are other heavies that have over 100 armor in the front, but the structure, we've got 59 in the torsos and the legs. You've got 77 in the center torso and 26 in the arm. So it can tank quite a bit of damage, which you'll see in the game. I'm not using the ballistic slot. A lot of the Thunderbolts in the lore use this for machine guns. It's an anti-personnel weapon, but I'm not going to be using that. Really, I just wanted a MRM, big MRM with the lasers. It fits my playstyle. So with that, let's jump into the skills. The firepower tree, I want the full heat gen and full cooldown. I want to be able to shoot as much as possible to throw the damage down range. And so full heat gen keeps me as cool as I can possibly be, even if it's not super cold. And then of course the cooldown helps me shoot my weapons more often. The range is kind of like a dump stat a little bit in this build. I had some extra points, and range helps just do more damage when you hit that just past that optimum range. So those 4 slots are there. The lasers are your primary weapon, even if the MRM launcher is pretty big. So the lasers get the laser duration, and then all 3 of the missile pods here, missile nodes, to give you a couple more missiles, tighter spread, as well as more damage on crits. Full skeletal density, full armor hardening, hit points are useful. This is an AMS mech. I use it as basically a support mech that can still deal a lot of damage, so AMS nodes are necessary. In terms of operations, you want full cool run. You have 16 of those heat sinks, so the cool run helps dissipate the heat quickly, and heat containment as well. And so some people will not run the heat containment if they need nodes in other places, but I really feel like this helps you run, like, for me, it helps me ride the red line a little bit easier. Especially with really hot mechs, you can shoot a little bit more and then just ride that line for longer without taking any internal damage. So again, certainly get the cool run. Heat containment isn't always as needed, but I like it in all of my hot mechs because it just helps you ride that line. For sensors, you get the target info gathering plus the 1 seismic, as well as sensor range and radar, full 100% radar deprivation. This is just to drive LRM mechs crazy. So yeah, you'll have your AMS going, but you only have 2, so just break line of sight and the break locks is really, really important. And then the 1 value slot in the consumable to give me my normal advanced UAV and cool shot. So it is quite a fun mech to play. It's got the pretty good shield arms, even though it is wide, and it actually, in many games, you'll get your missile rack shot off just because it's sort of easy to target. But twist and you can spread a lot of damage with those arms. You do have that shield arm here on the left arm with a little bit of armor, but you still get that structure. So use those to your advantage, and you can soak up quite a bit of damage, as you can see in the next game. So with that said, why don't we jump into the game?
Target spotted.
Got a sniper and Fox too.
Alright. Who are they shooting at?
Target spotted. Target spotted.
Target acquired.
2 Atlases up there. Be careful, Kingside. You might want to get the fuck out of there.
Got a full lance up on the top.
Acquired.
Target spotted.
I'm leaving.
Foxtrot 4 is white hot.
Actually, the Atlases up there are close range. At least one of them is.
And they're down a whole lance. We should push.
Yeah.
Push
Where are they at?
Where?
New target acquired.
Spotted.
I say push Echo 3.
Okay.
Echo 3, copy.
Whatever you're gonna do it quick before they have a chance to get down.
And we got their back
Roger.
over here.
New target acquired.
We're already moving down on the other side, but they've got distance, so...
Delta 3, we got a King Crab, we got others.
New target acquired.
I'm clipped into the wall.
Grasshopper and friends.
New target acquired. New target acquired.
CTN Golf? You probably got him.
New target acquired.
with you, Mortalus.
New target acquired. New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired.
Hotel. Hotel.
New target
In hand.
acquired.
Both Atlases are down and approaching the scene. Charlie and Alpha.
New target acquired.
Target hotel. Need a hand.
Copy.
Keep that push going. Be
Yeah,
aggressive. Be
torso.
aggressive.
Target
New
spotted.
target acquired. New target acquired.
Target spotted.
Lima's alarm boat. Lima's with the Atlases.
New target acquired.
Sorry, Tim. I scraped you a little bit.
Critical. Mech alert.
We are up 2 kills. So they're down even further than they think they are.
I need alarm support on Charlie, please. Immediate threat.
New target acquired.
Copy, Charlie.
Not sure what to keep shooting.
There's a lone boat in Echo 3 on the other side of the ridge.
Warning, incoming missile. New target acquired. Target destroyed. Right leg critical damage. Left torso critical damage.
Target spotted.
Delta, long range support up in Fox 4 on the ridge.
Nice.
Activated.
Alright, we're up 4 kills.
New target
Target
acquired.
spotted.
New target acquired.
Raven CT.
Kilo legs.
I'm down.
New target acquired.
No, not my smooth talking operator.
They've got assaults in Echo 4 now.
Target destroyed.
Good kill.
Can you pop UAV Echo 4?
Target acquired.
Target
I've
spotted.
used mine.
Alright, so there's only 3 of them left. 3 of them left. We got 2 assaults,
Target
the
acquired.
Atlases, and then we've got a
Lima,
lone
Lima.
boat.
Target acquired.
Target Lima, the lone boat.
Warning, incoming missile.
And he's open CT. Dead.
SRM AC-20 Brawler Atlas.
Nice.
Yep, so 2 close range Atlases, Echo 4, Echo 5. Right over there.
New target acquired. New target
That was frenetic.
acquired.
Charlie's got an open seat, open side torso.
Right torso on Alpha.
New
Alpha.
target acquired. New target acquired. MRM ammo at 25%. Center torso critical damage. Right torso critical damage. New target acquired.
Nicely
Well
done.
played, guys.
Good game.
Oh man.
Damn, I shot you again. Sorry.
25%. That's what I'm at. I am
You walked
barely
in
a
front of me
mech.
for the second time.
I apologize for that. I did pretty well that game though. Oh my god.
Ah, nice damage there, Tim.
Yeah, 398 missiles this run. So close to the block. So, whew, that was a lot of twisting. I'm glad I survived.
I wonder if I've earned enough money to buy those MRMs. Let's go take a look.
Well, that felt like one intense game. And my mech was basically destroyed at the end there. I think I said I had 25% of my mech left. But I got some work done. I did 714 damage, and I shot down almost 400 missiles. So I did my job as both a damage dealer and a support mech. Things went really well for our team. We had some really good calls. We were able to just kind of push into them as a team. They were pretty spread out, so we took advantage of that. Their 2 Atlases were way out of position, and so with that armor and that firepower off the table for so long, we were able to sort of a murder ball up and take them out. But as you can see, the mech is good for what I use it for, which is shooting down missiles and dealing out damage with lasers and missiles. So I really do like this mech, especially if I have to get like a missile challenge done and everyone else is running missiles. I can still have a missile launcher as well as shooting down other people's missiles. So it's a fun mech to play. It goes fast. It can take a lot of damage. It twists pretty well, and it's still still can support the team with the AMS. So that's the build. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like, and have a great day.